Okay, so here we are, Guitar Girl magazine at NAMM 2017, and ran into a very special person, Steph Paynes, who happens to be the Jimmy Page of Lez Zeppelin, who performed last night at She Rocks, right?
We did.
How'd the performance go?
It was great. It was a sort of a flash because, we're used to 3-hour shows, but we did one song, which was a Lemon song.
Yeah. I heard that one. I listened
You
to it.
did?
It was streaming last night, yeah.
Oh, cool.
And you did a good job.
That's great.
Yeah, it was
That's
good.
great.
Yeah.
Of all the things you heard.
Yeah.
Which came about in sort of a funny way. So the She Rocks Awards, we've never been before, but it's an amazing thing, with a lot of women. There were a lot of women guitar players there because there was an album that was being released simultaneously on Steve Vai's record label, Favored Nations, and it's called She Rocks Volume 1. And it features 11 guitar goddesses. I didn't make that name up, I'm just repeating it.
Right.
And so it was the She Rocks Awards sort of coincided with the release of this record, and so a lot of the players were there. So we have a track on this record as Lez Zeppelin called, we recorded the Lemon song, and Lita Ford takes a guest solo on it, which is really great. Guitar Girls,
Yeah.
and then I actually have a track of my own on it. So I have two tracks.
So we were chatting informally. That's what made us decide to do this interview, because it's like talking shop. Musicians love talking shop, right? And, not anywhere near as good as you, but I am one, so I love the topic. So how do you become Jimmy Page? How hard was that? I mean, how many years have you been playing guitar?
I need lots of magic spells and lots of becoming Jimmy Page. It's like it's a very deep topic. I mean, of course, there are all the mechanics of playing his solos and his rhythm. All the guitars in Led Zeppelin's music are Jimmy, and he multi-tracks everything, and it's very beautiful. He has this guitar army sound. But the thing also about him is that because he was a session guy and because he's a genius, there are so many styles that go into his playing. So to really become Jimmy, like you're saying, requires, I think, that you step into the music, all these different musics. There's rock, there's British folk music, there's psychedelic, electric guitar playing,
And the blues undertone for everything that Jimmy Page does.
Absolutely, most of all. It starts from there.
Yes.
And so you really kind of have to play and immerse yourself in this and familiarize yourself with the different, because they're all really different.
Yeah,
and they all have different sounds and different ways of coming across. So I think it's really, that was one of the things that drew me, was to try to get into his head and into his heart, because it was so challenging as a guitar player in some ways.
Well, let me ask you this: have you ever heard from Jimmy or anybody else in Led Zeppelin about the work that you're doing, paying tribute to them?
Yeah.
Since you travel worldwide.
I should just show you a picture. But Jimmy, let's look at this. Jimmy knows that everything that happens to, about, within, without, around, above and below Led Zeppelin. Any mention, anything in Led Zeppelin will, trust me, he'll know about it. So he knew about us for a long time. And then we had a mutual friend who sort of talked to him about us or more and sent him records. And this record, our last record, he sort of even had a little bit of a hand in.
Oh, really?
Well, we would call him for advice because we redid Led Zeppelin 1 and did it with all the vintage equipment.
Okay.
But
So you used the bow?
Yes. But I finally met him after at the release of the premiere of Celebration Day, the concert film in New York, and it was such a great meeting. Finally, because I sort of went up to, I was introduced to him, and there was this barrage of people, and I was like, "This is Steph from Lez Zeppelin." He was just like, "Oh." he's so great to me. We had this big hug and hello, and then I just said, Jimmy, I just have to tell you one thing. It's really hard being you. And he just burst out laughing. He goes, it is. I said, I know, it is. And he's like, yeah, it is. We just had this thing, which begs back to your question. Because it is. It's really hard being him. So it was great. So we hit it off, and I told him we'd come to England. And so we then went to England 6 months later. We played the Isle of Wight. And then the next night we played in London, and he came to our show.
Okay, so we just cut back from a commercial break. Had a little bit of technical difficulties there, but we're going to pick up where we left off. And I think where we left off was you went to England, and Jimmy decided to come and see you. You had a chance to have personal interaction with him. And then you were telling him how hard it was to be him, and he said, tell me about it. Yeah. So let me ask this. It might be a basic question, but you always have to do this with your favorite artist, right? What would be considered your best work, the best work you think that Led Zeppelin put out? In the form of a song, not necessarily an album, but just the best song.
Wow. I mean, that's just so hard because there are so many that are great in different ways.
Exactly, and they're also different anyway.
It's very diverse. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing that's why I love it so much, is that there's something like Rain Song, which is just this beautiful, stunning, lush piece.
Yeah.
And then there's, even, Black Dog or something that hits you over the head or...
I like going to California. I think that's
I do too. I love that. But I think if I had to pick like one or two, that absolute would be In the Light. I love In the Light, and I love 10 Years Gone.
Yeah. And didn't they?
I guess it's sort of physical graffiti stuff. But I mean, I love those two. But I also Dazed and Confused to me is also like to play. It's one of the best because it's such a journey. That song. I mean, for me in particular, because of the bow, and you go from this, and it has so many moods that you complete this whole journey at the end of it, and it's like you're exhausted. But it's what it's about,
So what's your calendar look like these days for Lez Zeppelin?
It's busy. We have had. I mean, we've been touring for 12 years, and some years are really, really heavy. Some a little lighter, or we're making a record or something. But we're starting to pick up a lot in just lots of different sorts of shows, and we're doing a lot of theaters now, and we just recently did a concert with a string section, which was fantastic. Oh my God, it was so wonderful because it brings out, we do Led Zeppelin the way they played live. That's our thing. So we are just 4 people, and we get out there. It's just guitar, bass, and drums with the vocals. Our bass player plays keys. We do all of that. We switch instruments, And so you can't really get all the guitar army layers of sound that you would get in a studio.
In the studio, right.
There's some bands that have 3 guitar players and do it, and then they all play the parts. Well, you have to pick one part, so which is what they did. So it's more of like the energy of the show that we do. It's really intense. And so with the string section, it was the energetic live show, but with this backing, this lush instrumentation of, imagine a song like Kashmir or something, where you're getting da-da-da-da-da-da,
oh my goodness,
in the beautiful
which
arrangement.
Is another one of my favorites.
Stunning. It was really moving.
Well, how did it all come about 12 years ago? Because, when you talk to people that are in bands, they say, it's hard to keep a band together, right? But first of all, you got to find 4 musicians that are unbelievable musicians that can do singing like that, or drumming, or anything, right? But so how did it come about?
Yeah, now you feel my pain. That's it. That's my pain in life.
Is it?
It's hard.
It's been consistent with all 4?
No.
No. Okay.
There have been a couple of different evolutions or episodes or whatever you want to call them. Whatever mood
probably
you're in.
Probably a little bit of both, right?
Right.
Right. There's probably plenty of episodes.
And each band has had its lovely specific attributes, I'll say, But I feel like it's sort of grown, in ways, and so I think I'm the only consistent person.
Are you
from
the founder
beginning.
of the
Yes.
band? Yeah, okay.
So I'm stuck
That
with
tends to
it. You
happen
see,
that way,
I'm stuck
yes.
with it.
It's your baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's hard. I mean, usually it's word of mouth, or at this point people know the band, so it's easier because if they hear that, if you put the word out, a lot of people are interested. It's almost the opposite problem of you don't want to sort of put it out too, put an ad in or something, because it will be this barrage of.
Now here's a
I
question.
sing I can sing just like Robert Plant. And it's just like,
Okay. Maybe not so much. Right. Now, do you make any effort? I haven't seen really. I guess I saw a little bit last night, but is there any effort to pick people that actually strike a resemblance, or not really? Because I could see you doing that on stage.
yeah, it's sort of so part of my zeitgeist at this point that it's a real gray area I travel between. You know, I sort of get into my zone, and then I'm not even sure. It is like adopting somebody else's feel and persona so that it sort of blends with yours. And that's kind of where I'm at, but I've been doing it a long time, and I really have, it's like Woody Guthrie, and Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan immersed himself in his hero and became his hero for a while. And his early music was like that.
Right.
He was singing the protests, he was singing of the folk and whatever, and he sort of became Woody, and then he kind of launched into his own thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. You have to take it into your beingness. So I'm kind of been there the longest. So
We have some
jazz.
background. We have some background music.
But yeah, let's put it this way: you can't stick someone completely out of character in certain ways up there. But we are not doing an impersonation.
Got it. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. I mean, the singer
Yeah,
happens
I think-
to be blonde right now.
Yeah, and
but
I think it's
she
good
doesn't
if
really
there's-
look like Robert Plant. And I've had brunette singers mostly.
Yeah.
So
And I think if you're hitting the sound, that's really what the audience wants to hear. And it's a pretty unforgiving audience, isn't it?
Yeah,
To
well-
listen to a tribute band,
yeah,
I mean, they know every
it
note.
is. It is.
They
It
can't
was a
play
very
it, but they
scary.
know what they're looking to
That's
hear.
right.
They know what they're
You're getting
looking to
out there.
hear.
It's like, what the hell am I doing?
Right.
Why am I
Exactly.
doing this?
It's risky.
I mean,
It's risky
Stairway to
business.
Heaven. I'm going to
Yeah.
really play that? Forget about it. What
Right.
kind of idiot thought of that?
Yeah.
But we actually avoided Stairway for about 8 years.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's completely ballsy for no good reason at all, except that it's just it's one of these bars you jump
Sure.
over.
Yeah.
But you'd be surprised. I mean, it was amazing that at the very beginning of the group, which was 2004 or something. I remember I rehearsed the band 6 months before we played a single gig, and because I knew that what you said is exactly true. Everyone knows every note. So you better really well have it down if you're going to pick this music. And the other thing is that you better play it the right way. You better really play it well. Because this is like the A game of rock and roll. This is it.
They're
This
not
is the
looking for your
greatest
version
band.
of the song.
No.
They're looking for the song. Yeah.
But more than even that, because they are forgiving of our versions now, you have to have the players. You have to deliver on, I felt, and especially as women, I knew that I realized really quickly, it's like if we're going to take this on, we better be not only as good, we better be better in a way. Because they're going to come in, women, doing Led Zeppelin. Oh, sure, this will be fun. They're called Lez Zeppelin. Are they going to kiss each other? Ha. It'll be novel. Let's give them a chance. But if you show that these girls play like this, man, they didn't expect to walk in and get that, and that's what happened from the sort of beginning, which is really became a kind of beautiful thing.
Sure.
But I felt it was very important because I also felt a responsibility. If I'm going to go out there and play this stuff and I'm not as good, it's really even worse for women.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you put a
It's
black
like
eye out
you're
there.
just fostering
Yeah.
this idea that
Yeah,
women are
yeah,
lesser
they are.
than.
Yeah, right.
And then they can't really
Right.
play men's music.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they can't really get out there and do that.
You're the representation now. Yeah.
So it was kind of a heavy thing.
Yeah.
And I took it very seriously.
I'm gonna look
I
into
still
more of
do.
your music. I haven't had a chance to dig into it too deep yet, but I'm definitely going to do it. after what I heard last night, listening to what I'm hearing today. Is there anything else that you would like your newfound fans to know about you or about the band?
I guess, I just say, come check it out. You can find our music, on LezZeppelin.com, on Facebook. It's sort of all over the place. And I guess I would just, since it's guitar, a magazine for women, female guitar players, I guess, presumably, and I would just say that, there were a lot of other female guitar players on this stage last night, and in this album that's on Steve Vai's label, and they're all supportive of, women are really, really taking on, the job, and there are amazing players out there. It's not like it was. I mean,
there absolutely
finally there are more and more role models for women. The role models that I didn't really have when I was a little kid. And it's great. It's great. Keep playing and excellence. Copy from the best, and just really don't be scared. Just do it.
And one of the early role models is Nancy Wilson with
That's
Heart.
right.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Steph. It was so nice to meet you.
Nice
Appreciate
to
your
meet
time
you.
today.
Thank you.